I'm told that higher-ups are aware of this video and what that officer, Timothy Scholl, has done. But the officers who smuggled this video out tell the Fox 13 investigative team that those higher-ups don't care.
I can only imagine how scared she was.
It's the video you were never meant to see. A female soldier inside the Joint Base Lewis McChord alcohol processing room.
Scholl, it would appear, is striking her or forcing her head up against the wall, basically assaulting her.
Did it surprise you at all to see that no one else reacted in that video? They all kind of just stood there.
That's the lack of knowledge and training on the soldiers.
This officer can't show his face out of fear of retaliation. Tens of thousands of people work behind the gates and barbed wire of JBLM daily. It's a world seldom seen by the public. Now, a group of whistleblowers are risking their careers to expose what they call a broken police system. Those officers telling Fox 13 Timothy Scholl is just one example of the system's failings.
The fact that nobody has done anything and has allowed him to continue to do wrong, it's not justice. It's not why I took this job.
But there are questions over whether Scholl should have ever been in that room. Long before that day, a string of concerning behaviors began here along 8th Avenue East. Signs posted warn that you're entering a military installation. The road itself is public property. But in late 2020, Scholl didn't seem to understand that, leading him to follow a civilian down that road, eventually illegally detaining her. As a supervisor would later write, his actions were unlawful and stepped outside the scope of his authority, adding that Scholl, quote, lacked the fundamental training and understanding of basic police concepts and safe practices to be successful in his current position. Multiple documents obtained by Fox 13 paint a troubling timeline. After his late 2020 run-in, he was put back into training. Within months, he failed to meet necessary benchmarks for officer safety, critical thinking, and ability to multitask. So, higher-ups extended his training. 2 weeks later, another run-in along the same stretch of road that kicked this all off. The patrol division chief writing that had his training officer not, quote, been there to stop him, Sergeant Scholl would have made another unlawful trespassing arrest of a citizen stopped on the side of the road. Then, yet another extension after yet another failure to meet training benchmarks. This time, a group voted to terminate his training.
As a person, I've never had an issue with that with him as a person, but in profession-wise, I wouldn't even let him be a mall cop.
This man outranked Scholl. Over Zoom, he tells me that Scholl's role as a civilian officer was to teach MPs or his less experienced military counterparts that fill out the department.
He is the person in charge there. They're all looking to him. And again, his actions show that he has no idea of what he's doing and the harm that he's causing.
I just wonder how it felt to see that.
Traumatic. It honestly felt like PTSD because it brought back memories.
Fox 13 was able to track down the woman in this video. She was shocked to learn it even existed. Now out of the military, she didn't want to show her face, but agreed to tell her story, saying she was numb in that moment. Being a soldier had been her dream. Training at JBLM should have been a career high. Instead, she admitted that things had already soured, that throughout training, she had to normalize how she was treated.
There were other military police officers basically just watching and not saying anything, which led me to believe it was the right thing. So I couldn't do anything but just let it happen. Looking at the video actually broke my heart, seeing that was mishandled like that.
When he gets frustrated, he's someone that needs to raise his voice and then get physical, where he starts to try to, now I'm gonna arrest you, now I'm gonna do this, now I'm gonna do that.
Recently, Scholl left JBLM, not due to this incident though. As his LinkedIn page indicates, he now works for the Department of Homeland Security. Reached by phone, Scholl tells me he's currently out of state, training at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. Soon, he'll be working at federal buildings for the Federal Protective Service. Over the course of 15 minutes, he told me that yes, his past actions have been questionable. But then doubled down that the illegal arrest he made wasn't illegal, instead calling it a gray area, despite his own signed review where he stated that he, quote, made a bad apprehension and subsequently violated the woman's civil rights. And as for the video, he said she refused to give him a DNA swab after being sent for an infraction, complaining that she clenched her jaw, something that, quote, got the best of me and, quote, got under my skin. Asked whether she deserved an apology, he said no. And given a day to think about it, I asked again, this time on camera.
No. Again, everything needs to go through the JBLM PAO.
It's the good old boy system. That's all there is to say about it.
Because I'm pretty sure Homeland Security has no clue of any of these things of his past. None.
Those who've worked the job say that Scholl, seen here, is a danger and that he shouldn't be around civilians with a weapon. As for the woman in the video,
I just pray that he doesn't do it to somebody else, that I feel like a system that I should be protected by didn't protect me. And it's unfortunate that I was the person that was hurt at the end.
The soldier says she doesn't want anyone to just avoid the military. It simply didn't work out for her. Now, as for Scholl and DHS, I'm still working to get information from DHS, whether any of this information of what happened here was made available by JBLM. As for the base themselves, after days of back and forth and missing their initial deadline they requested, we got 2 sentences back for multiple questions. They say this incident was reviewed, investigated, and closed. Matthew Smith, Fox 13 News.